We are starting our feed live, as despite having a long day, we're going to do our best to keep up with the State of the Union address tonight. And despite what's going to be a long night, keeping up what's going to happen. Right now, they've changed the scene. We're using the AP feed, so you'll hear some AP voices popping in here and there. I'll kick the sound up in a second. Right now, the president is expected to start speaking about 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. It is 7:36 Central Time. Vice President J.D. Vance has just stepped into the chamber. He will be sitting behind President Trump along with the Speaker of the House as they are in the House, in the House chambers. The Vice President being, of course, the President of the Senate. So tonight he's actually doing his job. And so the president left the White House about 2-3 minutes ago with the long motorcade, so they'll be there. You'll start hearing them announcing more people as they take their seats, getting ready to get started, and then we'll see if we actually take this thing off in about 25 minutes. Chances are it'll be more like 10 minutes delayed, more like 15 minutes delayed, based on what's going on. Now, if we're doing our job tonight, my name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and I am the host, the master of ceremonies, and the janitor around the Conversation Project, which is a part of something called More Better Media. Conversation Project has been on a very extended hiatus for quite some time as we are dealing with a lot of issues, including health issues, which are the most important things, but some tech issues as well. So we're going to see if we can basically stay awake for this thing here and keep up with the tech going forward, going here. While we're waiting, I'm going to test some things and go whatever, and be quiet for a bit and see what happens going forward. I think I actually have the sound up. Yes, sound is up on the floor for AP when who's walking in. AP has had coverage. Everybody's having coverage walking up to this thing. I'm looking up top to my other monitors above the monitor I have with the AP feed, which has CNN and News Nation. Those are my stations these times. I'll flip back and forth and get some Fox News and some MS Now as well. Also on another feed, another YouTube channel, I was watching the People's, that's what they call it, the People's State of the Union, which is being hosted by Joy Reid and Katie Fang, who are essentially holding a rally, which is now that they're no longer journalists in the mainstay of being on TV doing journalism stuff. They are basically just sort of saying what they want to say, a little bit of rabble rousing, if you will, and then being honest to a point, what they want to say, and just going up from that point. There's the generals, the Joint Chiefs, essentially, and the Space Command with his really cool looking gear going on there. It's pretty nifty on that end. So we got a little bit of time for this here. We got 20 minutes or so as these go on, so it'll be pretty boring. I won't be saying much because this won't be much of a interesting thing for me to say doing the commentary. But there is commentary from various different groups, various different news agencies working up to this place. And if you're watching the purebred C-SPAN feed or the AP feed, which is mostly for coverage, to record this coverage so that we get what's going on and have that as a pure feed for the news, it is what it is. AP is still a very important source of news as a for pool coverage, for any sort of coverage that is general blanket coverage for things, even though if the president doesn't like the way things are being portrayed there. So that's what we have here. I'm right now testing. It didn't start. Am I live? Look at my phone. Event will begin in 4 minutes and 37 seconds because I had it set for 15 minutes, but as far as I know, I've been streaming for 5 minutes, and I've got 55 bots watching on X right now. So this is interesting. So there it is. It flipped over. So I'm going to see if I get some sound. So bear with me for some echoes. This is interesting. So there it is. It flipped over. So all right. So I got confirmation that we are streaming live. The actual feed looks great. I guess I minimize my camera feed so that live part is easier to do with the streaming from the computer than from my camera. I'm having all sorts of issues with cameras these days. That is just tend to be what's going on. But as I said, I'm Jay Cleveland Payne. I said that 5 minutes ago. And we're going to cover the State of Union in this case. I have the comments up, so if you have a comment, send it to me. We will do what we can to pop it in there, and we'll talk about it here. Now we'll give some commentary, although hopefully it's not going to be very terrible in the way of just yelling and screaming and just saying random things at people. Because it could turn into that while we're doing this. But we're going to see whatever. There are various other people, much more famous and much more knowledgeable with the backgrounds that I have, that will be doing these things as well. So I'm not expecting a large crowd of folks to comment on it, but we want to get something from this. It looks like the president has parked in front of Capitol Hill. The beast is there per the CNN cameras. And so it says Capitol Hill, and it's looking like the president's now there with 20 minutes to spare. So he is basically right on time for all practical purposes. It's going to take a while to kind of yell the names of all the people. First, get these folks to sit down, then start yelling the names of all the people who are in the House who should be there and giving them their actual their props, because they should get their props. That is what should happen. And then get to the main event, which is President Trump, who will get a standing O and a very, very slow walk down the aisle where people will basically talk about him the whole time. We will see how this plays out. Now, what are we expecting from tonight's State of the Union? Well, we expect, because Donald Trump said he was going to give a long speech. So let's go with that. The speech will be long. It is not to be expected that the speech will not be something that we will have to kind of, skimp on. The speech will take a while because he believes they've done a lot of winning. He fixed affordability. He's about to fix Iran. He fixed Venezuela. Everything is all good and gravy, and except for the Supreme Court screwing around and messing up his tariffs, it'd be fine. But he's going to fix it again because he's got another plan to do that. Looking over towards my left, and I can see one Tom Cotton shaking hands. Oh, now we see Ted Cruz. That looks like Al Green. At least shaking hand with Tim Scott. It looks like from there. Don't know that happens all that often. Or maybe it's not actually Tim Scott. Maybe that's what's happening. We're just scanning the room for senators and congressmen, senators and congresswomen, senators and congresspeople, who are just kind of milling around waiting for the lineup. Once the president basically gets out of the car and into the actual building, then they'll start walking the people on there and basically calling the ones out that have to be escorted in. And they are the not so much the dignitaries, but the people who sort of matter. As we said, the president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House are on their perches ready to go. The Joint Chiefs of Staff, all the generals, are already sitting down. When they announce folks like they'll announce the cabinet when the cabinet comes in. They will announce the justices, whoever shows up, because right now Trump's not happy with 6 of them coming down the line, going over. So in most cases, this is all. I mean, when you're at this level of politics, you're at this level of just yakking around or whatever, you take these times to just sort of bullshit and yak around when things go on. It's just what it is. And so while some folks may not talk to each other on a normal basis, when you're in that room, you're in that space, in that area, you got to be cordial. You never know who's on camera, what's going on. This is not the time to punch Lindsey Graham in the face. Although Lindsey Graham has a very punchable face, this is not the time to throw up, to have a sword fight with Al Green, because I'm pretty sure that cane is a cane sword, and there's no way that's not a sword in that cane, and he's probably ready to draw it whenever things come out. There's a lot of people with bad blood and animosity on the floor in both houses, both chambers, and now is the time to sort of let the president make the speech for them, and they get a chance to jump in and see whether they want to support or yell or jeer. We're going to find out how much the jeers go, because Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, has told everyone to be on their best behavior, like Outkast tonight, and see how that goes. No outbursts, no crazy talk, no interference, and to be really transparent about this, it seems like a big chunk of the people who would really be the ones to really make those noises aren't going to be here, or say they aren't going to be here. Like I said, there's a people's state of the union going on right now with Joy Reid and Katie Fang, and it seems to be going very well. But it looks like a big rally, and they're kind of having speakers going now. They've been going for a while. Not sure how deep they're going to go into this one here. Now, I'm going to start Googling because somewhere along the line they probably have announced who the designated survivor is. The person touted to give the speech for the rebuttal is now Governor Abigail Spanberger, who just got the governor's job a few weeks ago, right before a big snowstorm. So she's going to give the rebuttal fairly soon, and as a way to maybe raise her profile. Profile's pretty big as it is right now, to be honest, but maybe raise her profile just a little bit more and get a little bit of juice, because maybe she'll have a go in 2028 or maybe in 2032 after she takes a bit more time as governor. But let's see, designated survivor tonight. Well, apparently I missed it because this says that was announced 10 hours ago. But the C-SPAN guy or the AP guy was like, we don't find this thing out till right before because you never know. They might try to take them out, something. But it looks like, per this article on The Hill, Democrat Mike Thompson has been selected as the party's designated survivor for the State of the Union, extending a streak. Well, that's a streak that's been extended. Let's see. Mike Thompson will be the designated survivor for President Trump's State of the Union address Tuesday night. Thompson said in a release, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries chose him as role. California Democrat will watch the speech from a secure, undisclosed location off campus from Capitol Hill. His guest, Marine Corps veteran and Napa City Council member Bernie Narvaez, will attend in person. So someone will take a seat that he just will be there watching it from TV, watching it from Netflix in probably one of these survivor vans that I've been seeing on all my feeds these days, because for some reason I'm all into those things. It's all over, all the rage these days. So it's going to happen today. So that was there. I should have already had that ready to go. But Mike Thompson, something. Told the Hill lawmakers been selected leaders to serve as survivor each year. Since 2020, the Democratic leaders of the actual House have selected. So that's the streak. Someone's been selected since 2020 by a Democrat, and it is a Democrat. So we're there. We are standing by at about 11 minutes until ready to go, as they may say. Watching, expected for what's going on. There's no sound coming from my thingamabob. Let me make sure. There we go. I turned it up. There's no real sound. They got the net sound in the room going, so I'll just go ahead and pop that up right now, so I'm not going crazy. This is what you do in live coverage. Because I miss my time doing radio stuff, I've been doing as much coverage as I can. Even these things that obviously aren't so much live, but they are what the best we can do. Bear with me as I do some producing on air, trying to fix some of the issues that we've had with the computers in the meantime.
The joint session will come to order.
Joint sessions come to order.
The chair appoints as members of the committee on the part of the House to escort the President of the United States into the chamber. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McClain. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentlewoman from Washington, Mrs. Delbene. Gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingle.
Dingle, Debbie Dingle.
The President of the Senate, at the direction of that body, appoints the following senators as members of the Committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The Senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The Senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The Senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton.
Of course.
The Senator from West Virginia, Mrs. Capito. The Senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Langford. The Senator from South Carolina, Mr. Scott. The Senator from New York, Mr. Schumer. The Senator from Illinois, Mr. Durbin. And the Senator from Minnesota, Ms. Klobuchar.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
So, all this procedural stuff is happening. These are the people that are basically the designated superstars to walk in with the president on both parties to give both sides the thing. I'm not surprised by any means that Tom Cotton is getting this call because I've got Arkansas and Tom Cotton.
Mr. Speaker, the acting dean of the Diplomatic Corps.
Tim Burchett stood up a little too fast, a little too quick on the draw tonight. And they turned down the applause mic. That's interesting. This is set to start in about 8 minutes. My guess is it's going to probably take about 20 minutes to get everybody into the body, so we'll see what happens. You're watching live coverage of the State of the Union 2026, the first State of the Union of Donald Trump's second term. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, your host from the Conversation Project, giving you my dulcet tones to get into the mood for today. I might need a better feed because there's not much going on. They're not talking at all.
Justices of the Supreme Court.
Chief Justice and so many members. 1, 2, 1. Nope, went backwards to the first parts. So these are the flunkies. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. 4 in attendance for tonight. I believe 2 of them are 2 of them that the two that dissented against Donald Trump doing his thing. Now they're not doing a good job on this microphone tonight, so I'm going to blame AP. You may have to find the C-SPAN feed because C-SPAN knows how to get things done apparently. Let's do a over-under. Kalshi gives odds. My computer's slow on the over/under for State of the Union time. Give me a moment. It's processing. Predictive markets are taking over the world. There are more followed these days, apparently, than the stock market itself and betting markets. And because of loopholes, they are, although most of them are actually offshore or in the cloud, they are the actual the way people are making money off bets, especially in sports and of course all things politics. This one looks big, so I think. But no, this is folks in the gallery, so they're going to answer the other in a second. Let's see if we can do this real quick while they're figuring things out. Kalshi has live markets going, and I think it's shared. It should have switched over for how long the speech will actually go. We have top markets winners going at 150 minutes or above, 120 minutes or above, 125 minutes or above. Those are the markers they have there. See if it gives you more without blowing it up. 140 minutes or above, 145 minutes or above. 12% chance that it's going over 145 minutes. The big money, big percentage would be right about at, they want 985 minutes. They are not even close. So this is Melania. Let me get back to Melania. Melania's taking her seat in the box now, next to Barron, and that is Ivanka, Eric, Don Jr., and Tiffany. I'm not sure why that's our ranking today. I know why by Bishop. I know why Barron is next because one is tallest. I guess Ivanka's smartest.
Mr.
I'm not sure why they're two.
The president's cabinet.
Yeah, they're terrible on this microphone. This is the first time that a woman has been. I don't know if she's sergeant of arms officially. First time I remember a woman doing the calling of the members taking their seats. So I don't know. Maybe they're dissing her because of that. I don't know. But it's AP is really. They should just leave the mic open. Cabinet's coming in. Rubio. Headset. I think that's Bessent. I can't really pick him out of the lineup, to be honest. There we go, Bondi. I think that's Burgum next. I can't tell who's behind Burgum. Random other folks. JFK Jr. is back there somewhere. Votes is back there. It's now approximately 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So now we're at the time to count up for the start time of the actual speech. Let's see if Kalshi will tell me start time. No, I don't have one for a specific start time, but now would be a bad time to actually pull it because right now it's, obviously if you were voting for on time, you missed it. Let's go back. This, so maybe I'm reading this wrong. The top number for how long will Trump speak is basically 53% at 120 minutes or above, which I guess you go above, you win that one. 125 minutes or above is 52%. The percentages on those. Actually, 63% is at 115 minutes or above. So people are hedging their bets at how long he's going to go by going low, because obviously he's going to go long. That 140-minute one that was there is going to win you. A little bit of money. You're going to win at between 115 and 120. You're going to win 62 cents. That's where the payoff is at between 115 and 120. So once you hit 120, the payoff goes to 52 cents from 62 cents. And this is changing on the way, so you can keep it on if you want to. If you say no and he passes it, you win money anyway. And the way these things make money is that the money goes into a pot. You hit your marker. Kalshi or the market themselves take a percentage of the money in the pot, so they take their money off the top, and then they split that 64.38 which it should add up to $1. It doesn't. They split that money based on wherever you get to if you hit that marker, if you bet on that marker. So you can bet on multiple markers, so it's like a parlay for a sporting event to different things. You can bet on a parlay for different things going forward. Much like a horse race where you pick 3 horses to win, place, and show, you can pick multiple things here for yes, no, and eventually, obviously, you can't cross too many because they get kind of weird in something like this. And what you get is a chance to win multiple times. That's how the guy won about the dude getting picked up in Venezuela a few hours before he got picked up in Venezuela. That can happen. It can happen that way. I'll go to the home page and see what's going to give me as what the trending picks are right now, just because. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. You're watching live coverage of me rambling on top of the State of the Union address, as nothing's happening right now. Nothing is going on. The chamber is being flooded with cabinet members who aren't taking their seats. RFK Jr. is not sitting down. I guess he's still kind of sore from working out with Kid Rock in his jeans the other day. These folks aren't getting their asses in the seats so the president gets started on his long-ass speech that's going to happen tonight. We are now about 4 minutes, 8:04. I have a second clock on my, a second timer on my timer here to give me the seconds here. But this is on, satellite cell phone time. So this one I have to my left is ready to go. And so we are 4 minutes past the more or less unofficial start time of the show. A trending Kalshi market topic includes: what will President Trump say during the State of the Union? Right now, the word hoax has odds at 51%, and they're paying out at 1.9 times. Ballroom at 52% coming up. There's 53 actual markets that you choose from. I'm going to see if I can pull them up in a moment. Play the YouTube thing, please. Ballroom, mental institution is now up with a chance over hoax, which is at 50. Ballroom is at 52. Somalia, or Somalian, it's somewhere at a chance of 93%. The payout's not great, but Cartel is at 96. AI at 93. Hockey, because hockey team is in the house, 94% chance he brings them up. They'll pay out at 95 cents if you actually went and picked that bid. Nuclear, 888. Stock market, 89. Hottest. Will he say something is the hottest?
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Here we go. 8:06, the president is making his way in through the door. We will do a count, more or less, of how long it takes him to get to the floor and get started. He's got to shake a lot of hands and speak to a lot of folks. Glad he had a lot of folks going back and forth. Of course, being escorted by a handful of senators and House members who will take their seats behind him as they make their way down the way, just ceremonial ways going forward. We're making a note that 8:06 is the unofficial start time of the speech. Not bad, actually. 8:06 not bad at all. Or start time of the walk down. What's amazing is all these highfalutin powerful people geeking out for an event like this. And it's fine because, you know, in theory, it's not every day you actually run up on the president. Although for a lot of these guys, because of the way the president is running the party and kind of, you know, bulldozing his way between things, it kind of is every day where you sort of have words with them. And some of these folks do actually have his cell number. I mean, we famously know about Marjorie Taylor Greene calling up Trump in the middle of the fight to get a speaker going back and forth. That was that Nancy Mace? That wasn't Nancy Mace. But that's somebody wanted a selfie with Trump so they can put it on their campaign stuff. That was Al Green looked like again. I think they tried to hand them, you know, a bill or something. We'll know. Whatever they're holding in their hands, it looks like they have some sort of slide out paper. I believe that's Scalise, I think, directly behind Donald Trump. Two minutes down. The justices. He says hi to Kagan. Hi to Kavanaugh. And to... No, he did not. He did not say anything to Barrett. He just sort of nodded at her. He's speaking to his generals. He's actually making good time. Shook Fetterman's hand. Fetterman's right up front. He's at the podium. What he's going to do is take a little photo out, take a bow. Looking up to the bleachers, saying hey to Melania. Hey Melania. What up, girl? What up, y'all? He's taking a long time basking in this one because they're going to keep clapping. What's odd is the House isn't extremely full. I guess as many people literally aren't taking their seats today. There have been a lot of protests by Democrats saying they're just not going to show up. So that's apparently what's happening here. A lot of the floor is not as highly packed as I've seen before. Is that Monica Crowley in the front row? Hadn't seen her in a while. Monica Crowley, the journalist, now I guess more or less a talk show host type pundit. Trump making his way to the podium.
Members of Congress have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Let's call 811. He's in position. He's going to milk this a little bit longer, but we're going to go ahead and call it at 5 minutes. All right, did he hand off the speeches yet?
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States. Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
One thing that always hurts these things is the many times they stand up and clap. Although they're built for these things, it slows down and, of course, throws off cadence for Donald Trump once he gets into his rally style. There's a lot of that kind of stuff.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure.
See what I mean? I thought it's thought like that was going to be some sort of protester, but it's just the sycophants.
Thank you.
Doing it.
Today,
right.
our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before. After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, We now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
You're going to hear me talk a lot in my Trump derangement syndrome and sort of how he speaks, how things go. You'll hear a bunch of that, including his cadence and his...
In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
hyperbole and his exaggerations and additional adverbs and adjectives to every sentence. Make them all
But we
rhymes.
will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
He gave 3 sentences. Each one they had to stop and clap for.
The
They're gonna
flow
be here
of
for a
deadly
while.
fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
We'll have to wait till the fact checkers come through, and based on the fact checker, how they check them facts to see how the numbers really add up.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
Nobody knows where there's $1.85 gas. There's like nobody can find that.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that, 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
Hottest just paid off.
As thousands of new businesses are forming in factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
I'm not sure how Venezuela is able to produce 80 million barrels of oil when they couldn't produce it over a year's worth of time before. There's no way it got fixed that
American
quickly.
natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America.
Did he say we ended cancer? No, DEI. I'm sorry.
We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
Not as much applause for food stamps, which would not necessarily be a
And
bad
for all
thing.
of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong. Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud.
The hockey team.
The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
I was wondering where they were. Although they literally have nothing to do with anything that Trump's going to talk about tonight. And there's not really a bad idea to have them come up there, other than the fact that they normally just go to the White House. It's only 8 guys. That's only 8 of the dudes. Okay. All right. Well, I like I said, my Trump derangement syndrome is going to become pretty heavy in this one, and you're going to see. Okay, they got 2 rows. All right. You're going to see me rate this one as we go. And we're not, right now, we're in C territory for Trump and C territory on all speeches. On the Trump curve, he's not doing well, and just in general. All these pauses that are made for these idiots to get up and clap, and they can't actually clap on time, is a problem. 8:25. We started counting at 8:11. And we're clapping long for the hockey team. We're stretching for the hockey team. There's Byron Donalds. I believe the Panthers, well, if he's the governor, he's obviously going to be his team, but I believe the Panthers are actually in his actual territories. Oh, boy.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
That makes sense. What had happened was the women won 3 days ago, and they already are on their tour of stuff. The men won yesterday, so they didn't have the tour set, so Trump could invite them to this thing and the White House the next day. It just sort of happened that way. Don't think this is anything magical. It really is last minute stuff.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
He is taking way too much time with this hockey team. We're going to be here all night, folks. I have my cold dinner in front of me to munch on. It's a snack. I didn't get chips or I should have got a soda. I got some cold coffee from I taught a class right before we got on the air, so that was coffee from that one.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. Do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I don't like that. I don't like that. He seems a bit apprehensive about it. He's going to take it. Not since Rush Limbaugh has one of these things, but he's just sort of like, why?
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you all. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
That's not his gig. That is not his gig.
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country. And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news. So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
That guy. They messed up the camera angle. There we go. I like these. Although the transition to call this one out was kind of poor. I love when these guys get called out. He should get the Medal of Freedom. We'll see if he gets one.
So, Buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas, one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you. And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down
We're going to do it
and
now.
take care of the service. Military aide, thank you very much.
We're going to do this
Take care of that
now.
very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further. where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Back on track. It does not look very crowded in there today.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead.
Democrats hate people.
But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
Not exactly no tax. But, because there's always fine print. Not exactly no tax.
And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America.
And the problem with that is so many parts of American-made cars aren't coming in from overseas.
Recently in
They're going from
Pennsylvania,
Mexico
I
and
met
Canada.
Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half. Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
Megan's actually standing up.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it.
Yes, you did.
I did not name that.
Yes, you did.
Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
If this works,
They're great people.
If this works, this is a good start. Just like buying your kid an insurance plan off the get-go. But the government didn't pre-fund Social Security. Remember, things like that didn't happen.
When I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school, and I made computers, and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling, and pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that, but I really thank him and
Didn't
Susan,
sell laptops.
as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very
Not from his dorm
tremendous
room.
guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, we're off track again where we're just clapping for people again. Not for stuff we've actually done yet.
So with modest additional contributions, These young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov. Trumpaccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars.
Here we go.
They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth. And the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong.
No, that's not true.
They got it really wrong.
That's not true.
And then just 4 days ago, an
Here we go.
unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down.
Here we go.
Very unfortunate
Make
ruling.
it happen. Do it, Trump. Do your thing. Call your boys
But
out.
the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal
No.
that they already made.
No, they don't.
Right, Scott?
That is
Knowing that the
total.
legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement.
Wow.
So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love. Right? Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. Put America first. I love America.
Quick aside, Doug Collins is apparently the designated survivor, which I totally believe. I guess the Democrats have their own survivor.
For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. There were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word, they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
So what's really great is the Democrats are holding back. They're giving the pause parts for the Republicans to stand up and clap. The Democrats who are there are not taking the bait.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
Most Americans would say they're not.
The price of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary. Thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing costs of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost. In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened, and now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere, the lowest price.
I'm watching some of my feeds and how things are not quite even while
So in my
watch people
first
stand
year,
up and stand down.
second term,
Out of cadence is hilarious.
should be my third term.
Oh, there we go.
Strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way.
We're at 40 minutes of chat time at this point. And basically all the numbers had it.
And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big. Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500, a reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom.
Where's Catherine? If those numbers are true, that is totally awesome. That's a big lift.
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing, I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before.
Never used before.
We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant.
Came up
they
with
can
it on my
produce
own.
their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time
by the name of these
lowering
things.
prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some
All
good
my
things
ideas.
happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes. And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Racel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year.
How?
As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Okay. Not sure what that pointing's all about, but okay.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she was here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop
I think she was on the
Insider
calculus.
Trading Act without delay.
Other than the digs, that's pretty much a bipartisan issue, except for the people who've made the most money.
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information.
Somalis get paid.
And in
Somali
actuality,
paid
the
out
number
now.
is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
Fraud's a rather
He'll get
nebulous
it done.
thing.
Find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about.
That's not
We'll
how it
balance
works.
our budget.
That's not
The
how.
Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where corruption and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders
Okay.
brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah. Delilah Colden was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up. Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens. And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you give no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
So Representative Al Green was actually escorted out. We had this sign I saw him pull out earlier. There's a sign that says "Black people aren't apes," and that's what got him escorted out earlier. So when I thought he was asleep, apparently that was a different representative because he was pulled out fairly early into the melee that is this speech. The speech which has gone since 8/11. So it's going on 16 minutes, about 55 minutes. Bad at math, especially time math in my head. But in 5 minutes, yeah, in 5 minutes, in 5 minutes it'll be an hour. starting at 8:11 if I were the official timekeeper. And they're not sitting down for this one. So they're going to stretch this. So 60 minutes is going to happen. The time half they're looking for is about 125, where the money gets actually get paid. 85, the things really start to get interesting. Dems are stone-faced. Republicans won't sit down. Somebody who has hands raised up like he's playing at the moment. They're not giving this one up. They must have money on Kalshi to get this thing past 125. All right, it's natural. Let it go. Let it go.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Mike Johnson was about to gavel. Oh, that's one of the representatives who's yelling. At least one representative is yelling. Oh, here we go. USA. The king's like, y'all supposed to be quiet. Let it happen. Let it go.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act. To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%. And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. Now it's no good.
Shoveling snow is the greatest privilege.
Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Because I am just a glutton for punishment of my own. Reese Waters' live reaction, which is just watching the video, not even talking in it, and people chatting about it, has 2,100 people watching it, and it's very active in the chat that are popping chats up here or there. I don't have that.
The reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John. And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up. And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
No bottles of water. We passed the 60-minute mark. 60.
Nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy. Amazing. Incredible. Boy,
Don't.
oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this,
Don't do it.
Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh? No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much. I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
No. We're not milking Charlie Kirk tonight. We're not milking Charlie Kirk tonight.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind. We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible.
Bringing it
Really a
back.
beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zuretska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Okay. Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zaretska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter.
Remember every
Irina.
single case, but I'm pretty sure he was just a crazy guy, born and raised here. We'll check that one out. That'll definitely be fact checked.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there. Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago.
"70 minutes.
They don't like to hear that. One of the sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Evalie. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her that never see anything like it.
Give me time for this pause here. But right now, if I'm reading Cassie right, we're looking at a forecast of 125.8 minutes. We're at 71 right now.
So sorry. Thank you very much. A great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night. And she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone. But his mother said, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right. Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much. So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
Not that he didn't earn himself a Purple Heart. but Trump is obviously stretching for time in his speech because of all the winning. So this would not be a place normally where this would be happening. Nothing's normal these days under this presidency. Oh, they got a medal. They got a award as well. Oh, that's because it's the family of the woman who didn't survive. So I guess she gets a Purple Heart as well.
We love you all. Love you.
I
We're
like these
proudly
things, but
restoring
these aren't really
safety
where they
for
happen.
Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people.
Don't do
Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared. And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
There we are. Camera on Marco.
People don't like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
We get hidden at 80 minutes, but right now, no one gets paid in the yes column until we hit 90 minutes or above.
Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that?
If he gets between 90 and 95 minutes and cuts off there, you get paid 98 cents for a yes. We're going to sit back and ride this thing and see what happens. Right now, all the money
Nobody
is on
thought it was possible.
125.
Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead, and those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back, but we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug, and they dug, and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job. And we're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protesters, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference.
This is a vision casting briefing. It's not a state of where we are. These are some things that we've done. And these are the things that we said we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do those.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
With the Trump tiredness thing going on, it seems like he's running out of gas. But it's all based on how much more stuff he has to say. Right now, we're coming up on the 85th minute.
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong, because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called Peace Through Strength, and it's been very, very effective.
Of course, standing up every time helps, I guess.
So thanks to Republicans in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed, at my very strong request, to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily, one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently. And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776. You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute. For one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar, I said $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it. So we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January,
The Bulwark has 1.6 million subscribers. They've got right now 22.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very good. They couldn't believe, they all watched. They saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it. Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby, because we did that. My baby is becoming so important. And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice. And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
They freed Enrique? Good. All right, I think we can start getting paid to go there. But the calcium money is now at 92 minutes in. If you get to, nope, 95 and above, just got wiped out. So you got to hit 100 minutes or above, which would make 96 cents if you get 100 minutes.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip. One bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine guns stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash. deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission, we probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife Amy, Eric, and Amy, come on in.
Why are these people having to come in? Why aren't they sitting down in the chamber? We're about to give him a Medal of Honor now.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
All right, you're now locked out of 100 minutes or above. Currently 105 minutes or above. You locked in it now. Which gets paid 98 cents. The target is now 42 cents payable on 25 minutes or above. You're almost at 100 minutes. You're 2 minutes away from 100 minutes, so you're locked out of that spot right now.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American
I think we're
patriots,
wrapping
but
it up.
there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator. Navy fighter pilot Royce Williams served in World War II Korea,
We've hit
Vietnam,
minute
flying more than
100.
220 missions. In the skies over Korea in
We still get in
1952,
on 105
Royce
minutes
was
at
in the
94
dogfight
cents.
of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
And he's got the uniform. He is looking good. He is looking good. Snap that picture. You get him, Grandpa. All right, I think we're in the wind down stage. We're going to pass this 105 minutes in about a minute. So right now we're in range for a payout of 97 cents. We do not go to 110 minutes. So we'll see what happens as we're at 104 and they're still in the applause stage. So how much time does Trump have to close? Maybe he'll try to do the 125. Right now it's only paying out at 8 cents, but you got to stretch a whole number 15 minutes to make this one play. So, although it looks like we're going to clap this thing up for 15 minutes, so we're going to see what happens.
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric.
This is going to be a long day tomorrow.
I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you.
Doing it again. I should be more political in my complaints, but it's really
250 years is a long
speech.
time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant,
Math.
Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath.
Oh, sorry.
Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 Humboldt colonies,
105's been
into
taken
the
off the
pinnacle
board.
of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries, shattered history's monstrous tyrannies, and we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel, and then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than
You might
ever
be
before.
working to pay folks
Thank
out.
you, God bless
That's
you,
it.
and God bless America.
I am wrapping it at 1 minute, 1 hour, or 103 minutes. And they cut it off. So if you had 105 minutes or above, you got cut off, but you hit it at 110 minutes or above, or basically in that window. 110 minutes above is paying at right now 3 seconds. So 110 is essentially 105 is basically where the window was. I don't know how this things works to see how it's going to pay out, but Trump's taking steps down. We're going to leave it here. Well, we're going to leave it here as I wrap things up right now. So let me get back to where I can see, selfie time. Get back where I can see y'all's again in my feed. And we watched Trump make his way out for the State of the Union. It was 103 minutes is a lot of time. Nearly 2 hours of time talking about, well, that's a loaded question, We can see the Democrats have basically jettisoned themselves from the building. So it should be a nice, simple walk back to get out to the beach, to get back to the White House. Unfortunately, he's walking in the middle of where the Republicans are, and they are doing what they can to crowd him and get around him and get their selfies. And, of course, the press are there, mostly press. Some of those are our staffers looking at their peace corps going on. That looks like that. I want to say that's Cotton's Head, but it's not Cotton's Head. I've seen the back of Cotton's Head so many times, I can tell it's Cotton's Head. So that's there. Right now, C-SPAN is waiting for the Democratic response. We're probably going to kill this in seconds, and I'm going to bed. I'm gonna watch the response on my phone as I prepare for mid-evening slumber going forward. Is he going to sign his tie? He's going to sign his tie. Check that out on eBay. Trump tie just got signed. So there's that.
You're looking at video now.
All right, we are stopping it because now the people on PBS are talking, or the AP are talking, so they're going back to commentary. We're done. This is over. I did not get massive amounts of viewers, but for all the bots that were here, thank you so much for spending time with me watching this showcase of our democracy, showcase of what we do. The why we do it is a good question, but the what we do is there. So thank you for being a part of this live feed, getting us this time going forward. Maybe you'll earn some clicks. We didn't set it for monetary gains, so there's no monetization on this one because it was just a long spot of somebody else. We can't make money off of APs doing this stuff. So attribution is something we're teaching in my class on computer usage, digital usage, and computer usage. AP is attribution for the actual feed that we use for this video. We will blame them for screwing up the audio for the lady calling people coming down the aisle. They should have done that for us. And we're going to do that. Tomorrow will be a very long, tiring day, so I'm pretty sure we won't have things you might not have heard yet to replay this, but we will find some way to chop this thing up and talk about this going forward. I'll definitely talk to some of my closer friends online because we talk these politics up, even if they have more. There's me complaining they have more popular feeds than I do, so people will come to them and not me. Reese Waters had plenty of folks watching him, but we're not Reese Waters yet. Looks like Mike Johnson and JD Vance are calling it a night. In about 5-10 minutes, they'll queue up Abigail Spanberger, now governor of New Jersey, to do the thing. And I'm going to watch that, and I'll tell you about that later. Good night, all. Thank you for being a part of this. Remember, today is a good day to have a day. Good, bad, and different, because the alternative is not all that great. Love you guys. Mean it. I'll be back soon. I promise.